friends, happy Motivation Monday. Today I'm going to be giving you some summer recipe ideas, starting off with these beef barbacoa tacos. And just so you know, I will be linking all of the recipes for this video in the description box below, so you can just follow along. You don't have to screenshot or write down any ingredients or anything like that. So I'm just starting off by cutting up the beef chuck roast, and my husband is bringing in Carter to say hi to you all. But I just used a little over a pound of this beef. The recipe actually calls for 2 pounds, so I ended up cutting it in half because we just really didn't need that much for just the two of us. This recipe is meant to be done in a slow cooker. I just used my Ninja pot, but you could use any slow cooker or crock pot that you have and it will work just the same. So we're just going to season the beef with some salt, and the recipe does call for some of the red onion to be added at this point into the pot, but my husband doesn't like onions, so I am not doing that part, and I'm just going to have them in my salsa that I'll put on top of it. But if you're making this recipe, you should definitely put the red onions in because that sounds delicious. So next we're adding our beef broth, minced garlic, and some lime juice. And then I'm just going to sprinkle cumin, oregano, and some chipotle peppers over it. Once that's done, you'll just put it in your slow cooker on low heat for 8 hours, and then you can start to shred it. I don't actually have a video clip of me shredding the meat because my husband was so sweet and did it for me while I was putting Carter down for a nap, but this is what it looked like. We didn't fully shred it because we kind of liked this almost chunkiness of it. It was really a good texture for the tacos, and it looks like it's not a lot in the pot because the Ninja pot is so big, but this actually made 10 tacos, which was plenty for the two of us. But if you have a big family, it might be good to add some more or do the full recipe. So while this was cooking for 8 hours, I went ahead and made the salsa that we're going to put on top of the tacos, and it was just diced tomatoes, red onion, corn, a little bit of lime juice, and some salt. The recipe actually doesn't call for these tacos to have any cheese in them, but my husband and I love cheese on our tacos, so we had to add some. And we also doubled up our corn tortillas because corn tortillas always seem to break. No matter what I have done, or if you heat them up or keep them cold, they always break on me. So doubling them up worked really well. Next up, we have this zesty lime shrimp salad. This was such a good light summer meal and also super easy to make. I just used frozen pre-cooked shrimp, so I thawed it out in the strainer, and then I am prepping the rest of the ingredients. You are just going to need 1/4 cup of red onion, the juice of 2 limes, or just, some lime juice out of a little container, olive oil, salt and pepper, shrimp obviously, 1 medium tomato, a diced jalapeno, and some cilantro. This recipe is so easy because you're literally just adding everything together into a bowl and then it's ready to go. If you're making the recipe ahead of time to have for like multiple meals throughout the week like I did, you'll want to add your avocado and cilantro just when you're ready to eat it. So whatever you store in the fridge, leave that out and then add those in later so that it stays fresh. Next up, we have mango salsa slow cooker chicken. And for this recipe, you're going to need 1.5 pounds of boneless chicken tenderloins or thinly sliced chicken breasts, 1 mango, half a cup of red onion, half a cup of cherry or grape tomatoes or regular Roma tomatoes if you don't like cherry tomatoes like me, the juice of 2 limes, cilantro, and then 1.5 tablespoons of taco seasoning. So I'm just starting off by prepping my tomatoes, onion, and mango. And I learned while making this recipe that I definitely don't know how to cut a mango. So this is after I kind of butchered it and then had to Google what I was doing wrong. So don't follow the way that I'm cutting up this mango. So you're just going to sprinkle your red onions at the bottom of your slow cooker, and yes, I was able to have the red onions in my recipe this time. My husband doesn't like any part of this meal, so I was able to make it the way I wanted just for myself. So next you're going to layer your chicken on top of the red onions and then sprinkle a tablespoon of taco seasoning over the top. Finally, you'll just add the mango and tomato mixture on top and then sprinkle some more of the taco seasoning over the top of that. And then you just cook it on high for 4 hours or low for 6 hours. This recipe was really tasty, but I just felt like it needed a little something more because to me it was just a little bit too fruity and there wasn't much of the taco seasoning flavor. So next time I make it, I might add a little bit more taco seasoning, but I also sprinkled some cheese on top of it, well, a lot of cheese, and that was really good too. I saved my absolute favorite recipe from this series for last, lemon blueberry pie bars. These were seriously to die for. This recipe takes a little bit longer to make, but it was definitely worth it, and there was a lot of downtime like while it was in the oven or cooling in the fridge where you could be getting other things done with your day as well. So I started by making the crust, and you just combine melted butter, sugar, vanilla extract, salt, and lemon zest in a bowl, and then you add the flour after you've already combined that and mix that all together, and then we're going to bake it in the oven. The oven should be preheated to 350 degrees, and then you want to line an 8x8 or 9x9 baking pan with foil and leave some hanging over the sides so that you'll be able to lift the parbois out later once they're cooled. And the recipe tells you to leave out 3/4 of a cup of the crust mixture so that you can add it on top later. The crust has to bake for 18 minutes, which gives you the perfect amount of time to make the filling while it's in the oven. So we just start off by creaming the cream cheese. Is that a thing? Creaming the cream cheese? Beating the cream cheese until it becomes smooth. And then we add the sugar and some lemon zest. Next, we're just going to add the eggs, and then we'll add yogurt, lemon juice, and salt and mix it all together. For the yogurt, the recipe called for like 5 ounces of yogurt, and I honestly had no idea how much that was, so I kind of just guesstimated. So I'm sorry if that bothers you, me not following the recipe exactly, but I just kind of put some in there and hoped for the best, and it turned out good. Finally, we'll add the flour and mix it one more time with the mixer, and then we'll fold in the blueberries. For this recipe, you can use frozen blueberries or fresh ones. I used fresh blueberries, but I think that it would have worked perfectly fine with frozen ones. So now I'm just going to pour the filling on top of the baked crust, and then you can add more blueberries on top of the filling, but I actually didn't have any more, and I think it turned out perfectly fine without doing that. Then you're going to sprinkle the crust that you saved on top, and then this is the part where it starts to take a long time. You're going to bake the bars for 55 to 60 minutes, and then they have to cool completely at room temperature, and then you can chill it in the fridge for another hour. These bars are perfect for dessert on a warm summer night because you serve them chilled, but they also are so good for breakfast. and I'm a sucker for dessert for breakfast, so hey. These bars can be stored in the fridge for up to 5 days, and they also freeze well, and the recipe says that you can freeze them for up to 3 months. I really hope that you all enjoyed this video and that it gave you some fun new summer recipes to try. Please let me know if you try any of them. I would love to hear.